Yo, JD here, Limitless, and we are back on F1 2021 as always. And we are here for some more online lobbies in the multiplayer. We're going to show 2 races here today, and I just want to say, if anyone who wants to join these on Xbox, make sure you follow me on Instagram, because I will be posting when I go live with these lobbies, these open lobbies, typically around midday in the midweek. I usually do this. So thank you to everyone who's joined. It's been absolutely amazing so far. But here we start with France, random grid, equal cars, 5 laps, and we're in the Red Bull, my favourite car to drive on this game. So we're looking to get a good start here, making sure you put the 3 bars on the bottom of the throttle application, and we get a very good start like we have been so far in this game. The Williams goes defensive, but we're going to go round the outside to get the inside for turn 2. 2 cars in 2 corners, and that is a perfect start so far. And in this video, I really want to show these 2 races, this one being at France, the next one being at Silverstone, which we seem to do a lot, but it comes up quite a lot. Because every F1 game, I always typically have a goal on what I want to achieve, whether that's league racing or just where I want to aspire to be. On previous games such as 2013, 12 and 14, my goal was to be the outright best on all platforms on that Formula 1 game, and I feel towards the end of 2013 I did that, and 2014 we definitely did that. But also when I was on the controller, trying to become the best player there. For this game, for how I feel on this game, my goal is to try and become the best player on Xbox this year, because I really feel that the game suits my driving style very, very well. It's got a combination of understeer. You need commitment, but also stability as well. Now, you can slide around, especially in a TT, but in an online situation, you really don't want to do that. And you can see we're actually using our France time trial setup here, and I have to say it just works so perfectly. The setups I've been using, as I said before, in a TT scenario, it might not be the most oversteery, but in a race scenario, they've just been working so well for me. And you can see we've got Sparks, who's a very, very talented driver in P2. And we've got FRA Arch in here as well. We've got quite a few good drivers who I've been racing against recently in these online lobbies. And usually I'm quite close to them, or in the TT I'm behind them. But on this game, in the TT, I'm either extremely close or ahead of people who I wasn't before. And when I race online, I just seem to be very, very strong on this game, and I just haven't felt this good on a Formula 1 game really since, I'd say 2014. I'd say is the last time I felt this comfortable and in tune with the game. And that's my goal. My goal is trying to be the best all-round player on Xbox. I want to try and win everything that I do going to in the future. And these races really, really do help me get in that mindset and to practice what I want to aim. And you can see so far here, the gap to Sparks is 2.7 seconds. I think it was 2.3. So we are actually putting away. We haven't used that much of the ERS. I really like to, typically in a 5-lap race, I always try and save my ERS for the 3rd or 4th lap, or maybe even the final lap. You don't want to do it on the 2nd lap because you want to burn a bit more fuel, and the tyres are usually still in good shape. So I try and save it as much as I can, and only really need to use it when I absolutely have to. So on these laps here, I'm just trying to consistently be as quick as I possibly can, and you can see we are edging away from Sparks, who is very, very strong, particularly around France as well. I know last game he was very, very good around here, so it feels really, really promising to me. And these are the things you need to really just boost your confidence. And this is what I always say to people who want to improve: compare yourself against players you deem to be very competitive or are in fact better than you, and do your best to race them as much as you can. and to set targets. And you can see on this lap here, we pulled away roughly another 3 to 4 attempts again. You can see through this section we almost lose the car there. So just a reminder, it's not all plain sailing. You have to respect the curbs on this game, which is something you really do need to do here. And you can see the gap has gone up to 3.3. FRA Arch is a 6.7 gap to him, although I believe he's behind the third place man. So we'll get a good indicator for the last lap. And I'm just going to save all my ERS for this last lap just to see how fast I can go. And I always have my PBs for 5 lappers around every single track. And right now in this game, I am not just focusing on the tracks that I feel I'm strong at. I also try and focus on tracks that I typically don't do until I do a league race or a competitive race. I'm trying to become as balanced as I possibly can, and I feel that's what's really given me the confidence right now, absolutely, for sure. And you can see FRA Arch has now got in 2P3, so we'll be able to see what that gap is for the final lap. We've got quite a lot of ERS still to use, being consistently in the low 29s, which is very strong for a 5-lap race here. And no, as the title says, I feel like I'm really just driving. I've unlocked a different level of raw pace compared to people who I know are competitive, and this is in very good stead for when I do competitive races on this game, which there will be more news on very, very soon. But coming into here, the final lap here, I'm using all of my ERS now. The gap's 4 seconds to spark, so let's see what's going to be on this last lap. I just feel completely committed. The setup I'm running here, I can afford to throw it into the corners, run on the curbs, get on the traction. I can just completely commit to the corners. You can see not an ounce of a slide here. The traction coming up here is just so nice. It looks like it's in the real Red Bull in real life, and you can see we've gained about 2 tenths in that first sector alone. No DRS to aid us here, but you can see we're using all of the overtake button now. Can afford to use this curb because the setup allows us to do that. A little bump, taking this, making sure you hook the inside of this as we do, and get an absolutely awesome launch of this corner. The gap is just gained about another 10th through that middle sectors. We're half a second up on our time at the moment, so this is an absolutely outrageous lap so far. Coming into this long right-hander, use all of the track, come back, making sure you don't hit the curb too much, and you can see we've gained about another 3 tenths in here. This is where the setup works very well with that extra downforce. This is where it really does make the difference here. At the end of the curb, that's where you want to be turning, and same as in the time trial, making sure we don't lose the car on the curb this time. First gear, double shift into third, just to maximize the traction. Use the rest of the overtake, and what lap time is this going to be? It's going to be a 28.624. That is, yeah. I just feel at the moment just so at one with this game, and honestly, I think you can tell by how often I'm doing lobbies. I'm just enjoying it so much, and I just absolutely love how it feels right now. But now we move on to Silverstone in the same lobby. Once again, random grid. I think we're starting P11 for this one, and let's see how we go in this 5-lapper round Silverstone. So as the timer counts down, getting ready here. We're in P13 actually, in fact, so waiting for the lights to go out now, and as they do, we get another pretty good start. We've been getting very good starts on this game. Going into the middle was a little bit dangerous, having a little bit of contact. The guy to the left of me just wanted to turn in here. We spot the space around the outside, and hopefully we don't get collected on the inside, as these guys are just having a nightmare on the outside of that corner. And now we're up into P7, was temporarily P6, trying to grab the slipstream from this AlphaTauri here, but I think it's going to be quite difficult because I've got a car to my right hand side as well, so we're going to allow him to have this corner. Now going through into here, was thinking about going to try and go around the outside, but it's not very a viable option on this game to do that, unlike real life. And now we're up into P6, so 7 positions gained at the start, so another very good one. This Old Town 1 is actually one of the trickiest corners for me. I definitely need to improve that one, but these Mackers and Beckett's, I I really do just absolutely love. So the setup I'm using here is running very well, as this guy has a little bit of a poor magazine Beckett, so we're going to take advantage of that with Sparks not too far behind once again. So coming at end of Stowe, or sorry, the Hanger Straight, get that move done. So up into P5 now. So progress has been very good so far. Now coming through penultimate corner, now the last corner, and you can see his red light is flashing, so I know pretty much has used quite a lot of the ERS on that lap, so I'm not going to attack him at the moment. I'm just going to let him do it, as Lorenzo has an absolute nightmare going through into the turn 1. So that puts us back up into P4 with Sparks now behind us. So it'll be interesting to see what he can do this race. Getting another good exit up here. We're not going to fight this too hard because we're not really under pressure from Sparks behind, so we decide to turn off the overtake, just trying to make him a little bit nervous as he goes in quite deep into this corner. So we're going to try and set ourselves up for a good exit. Sparks tries to go down the inside there, but we get a very good exit up here. Now we're going to use the overtake once again. Was thinking about going to the inside here, but then decided to turn it off. Now going through here, this is again is a corner I just need to be a little bit more committed. The setup is very planted, so I could probably almost do that flat out. Sparks is trying to go down the inside. We leave us some room, a little bit of wheel banging here, and go for it. I think he has unfortunately come off worse. I left him the room there, but unfortunately this handling, or sorry, this contact model is quite unforgiving, as HL347 has got the red light flashing again, so I know he is either used all deployment or under 10%. So I'm going to take advantage of this. So I'm going to set him, well, I'm going to set myself up coming off the chicane, getting a good exit. His red light flashes again. Now I'm using the overtake here, because the difference between overtake and when you're reharvesting is so big. He concedes into that turn 1 and we get that move done. Now we are behind Jason97 F1, who is an absolute veteran on the Formula 1 games. It's really good to see him once again. Haven't raced him for a very long time. Used to race him back in the ARL, AOR days, or even the TRL days as well. So really good to see him on this. So let's see what kind of pace he has got as well, as we're just trying to avoid the contact there. So I didn't want to spin him out. So trying to be as clean as I possibly can, as always here. As we've got the guy in the lead, Jacob. He's a very strong driver. I've actually come across him quite a lot in online lobbies, and the beautiful thing about online lobbies is that you just discover new talents, new people, and recently I've discovered some very good drivers, and he is one of them. So trying to get a good exit of Magnussen Beckett's. We're not going to use any of the overtake. We're just going to let the DRS do the work here to do a nice clean move down this inside, just leaving space just in case. And now we've got to try and make some inroads into Jacob up ahead, which is a 1.3 second gap. So I want to make sure I'm in the DRS zone by the end of this lap. That's absolutely crucial that I do that, as he does a 26.6, which is quite a solid pace around this. I think my PB is a high 25, but I presume he's probably not using that much of the ERS at this stage. So I'm just going to give it everything I can on this lap and try and deliver that raw pace that I know I have on this game. Because I think on previous games, I've always been, I think ever since I played the Formula 1 games, ever since 2014, I've always been a strong player on the Xbox platform. Always been very consistent, which has been my main strength. But one thing I had needed to work on is particularly just the raw speed. And right now, I feel I'm combining the two of them. So that is the aim, to be a very good qualifier with the raw speed, but then also have that with the consistency in the race. And if I had that, then I think that could be a very lethal combination for the upcoming competitive races here. You can see we're half a second up now. We've got into the DRS zone of Jacob up ahead here. So doing a very nice line here, and you can see the time in the delta we are gaining through there. So we've got quite a bit of ERS for this last lap as well. So trying to get a good exit coming off this corner, using the overtake now. And what is it? It's going to be a 26.3, which is a very strong lap. But now we're going to have the DRS for this first sector I don't think we're going to be close enough to launch an attack into here. But to be honest, I wasn't really thinking of doing the overtake here. Since the dirty air, I don't think is as bad as it was on the previous game, then we're going to do it through Maggie's and Beckett. So we want to make sure we're as close as we possibly can, because I know this game is a lot more generous with the ERS, so I know he's probably got quite a lot saved himself. But pay attention, I've actually left on the ERS button going through the corner, and then now I think I'm actually activating it. I think I need to change my hardware. It's a little bit more easier to be visible, because you can see we're deploying it through here again, but I'm not meaning to do it. And I was wondering why I'm gaining so much speed here. I didn't realize I'm actually using the overtake, so this could actually really hurt us going down this straight. We're still using it for Maggie's and Beckett's, and we have literally next to nothing else. I push it now thinking that I'm activating it, but I've actually turned it off. Now I've realized halfway down the straight, and I was wondering why I'm so slow, but we put it on the last minute, going down the inside at the end of the hangar straight, but we run out the deployment on the exit. Now it's a drag race into the chicane, but who's going to brake later? We brake much later, going into that final chicane. We have no deployment to use, but we have very good traction, and we end up winning 2 out of 2 online, and what a great race that was. And these races I've been doing recently with everyone, they've been absolutely amazing. They've been really clean, really good driving. And if you want to take part in these, as I said, follow me on Instagram. Make sure you watch when I do a story. If you want to tag any pictures or anything at all, which a lot of people have been doing, just tag me in it and I will share it if you're racing against me as well. So I hope you are having a great weekend. Thank you so much for the support on the channel. It really has been amazing, and it really does mean a lot to me. So hope you are keeping well. Have a great day, and I will catch you very soon. Peace.